Hi everyone, welcome back to my next video. Today we're going to talk about becoming a Nevada state resident and the most important part of that, which is getting a place to have your mail delivered. We are here in Nevada, in Pahrump, Nevada, at the home of Mail, Messages, and More, and we're talking to the owners, and they will explain to you everything about how mail forwarding works and how you need it if you want to become a resident of Nevada. So Linda and Brian, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your knowledge. You own Mail, Messages, and More, the mail forwarder here.
Yes, we've owned Mail, Messages, and More for 16 years now.
Oh, that's a long time. Yeah.
Brian, my son, he's actually the official owner, but I'm the one who works here, and I'm who you'll talk to 95% of the time.
And for anyone out there who has never worked with a mail forwarder before, what exactly do you do?
We become your address, so all your mail will come to us. We hold it until you ask for it. You can be put on a schedule. You can go out once a month, once a week, every day, however you want. We can hold it until you tell us to where to send it. We can send it out the same day you ask, if you're early enough.
We also accept FedEx, UPS packages for any of the customers. We can also scan and email if you needed something that day. Gives us a little bit of time, but we can get it out through email.
Yep, and we can ship either way also, UPS, FedEx, or the post office. We do our best to use flat rate because that way it keeps your costs down. And if it fits, we'll do it.
Right, yeah, so just with the regular priority box.
Right.
Right, or envelope, that's probably a little cheaper.
Right.
And then we also have international customers. We have customers on boats. We have truck drivers. Pretty much any time that you don't have one place to call home.
Traveling
call us.
nurses, anybody who's always moving.
And you mentioned you'll receive FedEx, UPS boxes, or just almost any shipping company you'll accept.
Absolutely.
So if I'm here in Pahrump, which I usually am through here at least once or twice a year, I can come into the office and you'll just hand it to me.
Right. A lot of our customers will get big packages, and that way I'll know they're heading our way.
Right.
Because we know that they're not going to want that mailed. So as soon as we see that, we'll hold on to that, still give their mail out, and they'll just say, hey, Linda, I'll be there, and just hold on to the big stuff. And then you can just come on in, we give it to you.
Right. Or the smaller stuff, you'll mail it to me wherever I am.
Absolutely. And I do have certain customers who get a lot of packages the boxes are way too big for what's in it, and they give me their permission, and I will open it, condense it, and make it into one small package for them.
Which saves them money on the way out to them.
Absolutely.
Quite a bit of money.
And then we also have 4 types of mailings. When you sign up to be a customer, you can be our type 1 customer, which is just first class mail. Just letters, anything that has first class or higher of postage. Type 2s get first class in all travel magazines. Type 3 get first class in all subscription. And type 4s get everything with your name on it. So depending on 1 through 4, if you're a 4, you're going to get a lot more junk. If you're a 1, you're only getting important stuff, but it also helps lower your postage costs.
And that controls your postage and your yearly dues.
Right. And so how does the charges go? How did that work? How much do you charge for your services?
When you first sign up, you pay $165. That puts $85 minimum towards your yearly fee, $15 for a sign-up fee, and $65 in your postage account. And your yearly fee is based off of how much mail you receive, because we have some customers that get 1 letter a year. We have some people that get 1 pound a day. So it's not fair for them to say pay the same price. So the chart slides, but $0 to $19 used in a year of postage, your yearly fee is $85. So if you use less than 20, you're paying $85 for the year. 1901 to 26.
Yeah, $26.99, I believe it is.
Then
it goes up $5. You top out at $185. No matter what you get, that's as high as it goes. So your dues are going to be anywhere between $85 and $185 for the year.
All depending on how much you use.
How much we actually mail to you, do your postage.
Right, and now if you're in Pahrump majority of the time, and say you only travel a month or 2 out of the year, we don't calculate dues or anything like that.
Now, I believe our website may still say we do, but we do not. If you come in person to pick up your mail, you're not charged. There's no, I think it does state that.
The calculation.
Yeah, the calculation's still there. We do not do that.
And so it depends on mainly this, well, entirely on how much you spend to send it to them. In other words, they're of the 165 they're leaving with you initially.
Right. And that 65 in postage just sits in their account until they use it.
Right. And so we make a deposit on postage, and when you send me a box and it's $5, that comes out. You send me another box or a package and it's 3 or 10. Slowly that amount dwindles down.
Until you hit 19, you still stay at that. Once you go over 19, for every $7 in postage you use over $19, you go up 5.
Right.
And you'll see that. You get a monthly statement and you'll see dues increase on your monthly statement. And that means you went to the next level. And that way, if you see how much postage you use, you can kind of figure out what your dues will be. Or you can always just call us and say, what's my postage this year?
Right.
What are my dues this year?
We're also very flexible. We have customers that get a ton of magazines, big heavy items, and they're like, we're traveling for 2 months, just hold them. Not a problem.
Just send me my first class. So we have tubs of mail that we just throw all their stuff that I know they want, but they don't want me to mail it to them. So we'll just hold it and send them their first class.
So
Right.
that helps keep the postage amount down.
Yeah, we're very flexible.
Right. So really, it's going to be very cheap. If you get practically no mail, it could be as low as $85 a year after
Correct.
the initial
and,
setup.
and you still have that 65 in your, or you have 40 left in your postage, say at the end of the year, and your dues are going to be 90 for the following year. The 40 will come out, so you'll pay 50 for your year, and then you can put whatever you want in your postage account. If you only want to put 20, then you'll pay $70, and until that runs out.
Right.
And
So
the average customer, I would say, is probably 90 to 120.
For the year.
For the
Right,
year.
and that's someone who's getting just a basic, just a person who just gets regular mail. Not, we have some businesses that get a ton, and like I said, not getting one letter, but if just like myself, the amount of mail I get, I'd be probably $100 a year customer.
And a lot of people they like to go with the flat rate priority because they want tracking. So they'll go out once a month for $8, say, so they can calculate, I'm using $8 a month for 12 months. I know what my dues are going to be.
Right. No surprises at the end of the year.
Right, and with the tracking number, like she mentioned on the priority flat rates, we keep that number here. We don't email you or call you with it, but anytime you need it, if 5
Unless you
days.
request it, then we do.
Right, but if 5 days go by or 3 days and you feel your mail should have been there, always call us. We'll give you the tracking number and we'll track it for you, or you can track it yourself under the USPS website.
Right. So that answers the question I get a lot. How am I going to get mail on the road? Well, you're going to hire a mail forwarder, and they're going to become your address, and then your mail will all come here, and then they will disperse it to you. Or if you're in town, you'll come and pick it up. Now, the next question I get tons and tons of times is, well, then all I need to do is hire the mail forwarder, and I can use that to get my driver's license, right? That's all I need. And the answer, of course, is no. I wish it were, but it isn't nearly that simple. So do you know what people need to do to get their driver's license? Can they just use the address they get here?
Years ago you could, because we do provide a street address. So it's just a street address and your number. But the rules have changed, and now they require that you stay 30 days in Pahrump or Nye County. And then you just have a lease for 30 days. Along with that and our address, then you can go to the DMV and register your vehicles and get your driver's license.
Right. So they actually, I've been told, and maybe you can verify this, they actually have a list of all the commercial mail forwarders in town. And if you try and use that, the computer will just kick it out and say, you can't use this.
Yep.
Correct.
It red flags it right away, and they know.
What they'll ask for then is a physical street address. We are a physical street address, but in their database, we're blocked. So an
That's-
RV park, hotel, anywhere that's going to give you a receipt or a lease for the 30 days. And then you would put us on the paperwork as your mailing address.
Yep, that's your physical address. We're your mailing address.
Right.
And anyone else, your insurance company, all your other mail would just be this address. The only
Like
time that you would
banks,
need to put the physical
everything.
street is for the DMV.
Right. So, and sometimes people think, well, all I have to do, instead of saying mailbox, I can just say, well, the address here is 1970 North Leslie. So instead of saying mailbox and number 12345, I'll just call it number and use an ampersand, and that won't work because the computer will kick it out and say, this is a commercial mail forwarder, you cannot use this.
Right,
You
they
just-
absolutely know no matter what you try and do.
Right, you can't get around that. So you have to come in with a receipt and a physical address, and how you do that's up to you. Most people are just going to an RV park here in town, renting the RV park for 30 days. They get a 30-day receipt. They stay in the RV park or not, that's up to them, and then you take that into the DMV. That's how you're going to get your physical address and your actual mailing address here. And then some people think, well, I just don't need a mailing address. I don't need, I'll just get a physical address and that's all. Well, you can't, because here they mail the driver's license out. Is that correct?
Correct. They mail your license, your tags for your vehicle, the registration, everything will come to us.
Right.
And then if you're no longer here, we'll mail it to you wherever you are.
Right. So you absolutely must have a Nevada mailing address to become a Nevada resident. And that's true of nearly all states. They just require it. Beyond that, you mentioned insurance. Your insurance company will say, where do you garage the vehicle? And they will also know you didn't garage it here because this is a commercial business and you didn't garage it here. So you just actually must get both a mailing address and a mail forwarder if you don't actually press it here, and a physical address, which is a 30-day written receipt. That's just the way they were playing a cat and mouse game with it.
Right. It changes for the 16 years or so we've been here. It just keeps changing. I mean, in the beginning, this was fine. This was it. But
We'd work for the physical and the street address, no questions asked.
right, and we've tried to do different things. We owned a lot next door. We put a mailbox there. Some of our customers do come and dry camp there, so we thought, well, there we go. Physical address. Well, no, the DMV came and said, nope, that won't work either.
So even though they parked on our lot for 30 days,
It didn't
it
count.
didn't count.
Right. You weren't renting. They said you weren't renting them a
Right,
place.
so we thought, okay, we tried.
Right. You did your fair share.
Right.
There's just no way around it, and it's no big deal. It's a very reasonable price. You know, probably you're going to spend $100 a year for the mail forwarder. So really, you get a lot of
about right.
service and convenience. $12 a month, and it's just more than worth it. Have your mail follow you anywhere you go. It's just really a tremendous service. I've never regretted it. I've always done it for the last 11 years, and I've never regretted it at all.
We do offer storage units when they are available. Right now, we're currently full. We do have outside storage for RVs, vehicles.
Travel trailers.
At a pretty fair price, just $30 a month. And they just sit on our lot back by the house. So we're here on the property 24
We live
hours.
here, right. So again, if you can't get here during business hours and it's the weekend and you have a package and you're just passing through, you can always call and ask us, oh, is it okay if I stop by on Saturday and just grab this? And sure, we're here.
Yeah, as long as you give us enough notice, we always try and make it work. We
Right.
understand people get held up in traffic or doctor's appointments or whatnot.
And to sign up with us, if you come in person, it takes less than 10 minutes. All you need is 2 forms of ID. Most people use their driver's license and car registration. The paperwork says it needs to be notarized. It does not if you're here in person. Otherwise, if it's more convenient, you can do it through the mail. And we can assign you a box number right over the phone, and you're good to go right away.
Right, and we should have asked you right away. What is your website?
It's nvmailforwarding.com.
Real easy, nvmailforwarding.com.
The one thing that we do not do is we do not accept credit or debit. So it's cash, checks, or money orders.
At this time, I'm looking into a new computer system right now, and if everything goes right, I'll inform everyone, and then we'll be able to accept credit and debit.
And one of the forms that people have to fill out is a USPS, Postal Service official form that they have to sign and send in. And I don't remember, could I download that? I don't remember how that works.
You can download both the forms off of our website. And I said, if you're not here in person, the postal form 1583 needs to be notarized. And if you're here, it does not. But even if it is notarized and you're not coming in, we still need copies of 2 forms of ID from each person. The notary will tell you don't, but the post office says you do.
Right. And that has nothing to do with you.
Nope.
We're not just sticklers
No,
for
our form's very simple.
Yeah.
Just what mail do you want? How often do you want it sent? Do you want us to just hold it till you call us? Our form is just very simple.
Right, and their form, some people get worried about filling it out because like the address they're at right now isn't this address, and they think it's going to change their mail.
It does
It's
not.
not. All that form is if there's ever a postal inspection, the postal inspectors will go to the post office here in Prom. They'll come here, compare the copies, make sure that we haven't altered anything, their IDs match, the names match, and they're filled out the same. And that's it. It's just to make sure you are who you say you are.
Which has never happened.
Right, it would never ever happen, yeah. But it's bureaucracy is the
Right.
bottom line.
And we just follow it and do what they tell us. So.
And since I may call you and ask you to open mail that gives you the legal right to open it.
Right.
You could not legally open it without that.
Correct.
Gives
Because
you
we become your agent.
right. Gives you the legal right to handle my mail, to open my mail, if with my permission, of course.
Right, like I said,
Yeah.
that's how we do it packages. We'll open everything up,
Right.
throw it all in one box.
And speaking of agent, when you're here, you have the right for us to accept certified mail for you by signing box number 5 on the 1583.
Oh,
Some people don't want certified mail, but if they do, right here on the form, it says agent or addressee. So we always check agent. So if it was something important and you didn't get your mail for the month, the person who sent the certified knows that you physically did not accept it and you're not like trying to dodge them or whatever the reason may be. So we do check agent on here.
Yes.
and this has happened to me. I had a really important piece of mail that I just got to get real quick. Is there any way we can take care of that?
Yeah, you can call me, you can email me, and you can just say, I need this out right away today, and then we can get it right out to you. I always answer every email, so if I don't answer you within that day, I didn't get it. Our email is very simple. It's just mmm@perump.com, and we can take care of it that way. Or, like you had said earlier, we can open it, scan it, and get it to you immediately.
Right.
And it's always good to put your box number in the subject line, mailbox such and such, because we do.
I have an
there's some
amazing memory,
well,
but
there is some very popular
other
names
people.
that I'll just use, like Thompson, for example. They'll have the first name, last name, and they'll just put, this is such and such Thompson. Well, I don't know which Thompson is it, so.
or we've had a lot of mail addressed to Grandma and Grandpa.
Yeah.
Grandma and Grandpa. It's like, oh God, what do I do with it?
So once you get your box number, it's very important. We will look up the mail. If it just comes in with your name, it slows it down a little because if we get a stack this big and have to go by one at a time. So anytime you see your number wrote on the envelope by hand, then just try and give the company that's not doing it a call and be like, hey, you need to get box such and such on here.
Okay, good. A question that I get all the time is, well, while I'm driving around, my mail is going there and they're going to send it to me, but I don't have an address while I'm driving around. They're not just going to send it in by drone. So, and you've been sending out a lot of mail for a long time. Where do you send people's mail to? How can folks at home get the mail while they're on the road?
All right, you can, if you're at an RV park and the RV park accepts it, obviously it can go there. If you are not and you're just in a town, we can send it to the post office general delivery. What you need to do though is you need to make sure that post office accepts general delivery, because not all post offices do. So you'll just check with the local post office closest to you. If they accept it, we just send it to your name in care of the post office general delivery, and you just go there and pick it up. Otherwise, we can just send it to, we've sent it everywhere. Family,
And
friends.
What's the time frame now in case someone say
Now,
you're
if
on
you
the-
want to stay somewhere, 30 days is it.
On general delivery.
For general
Right.
delivery. After that, they're going to want you to get a post office box.
So
Right.
if you're on your en route there and something happens,
And what
and you're held up.
sometimes our customers do is they'll just go to the next small town and they'll have it there for 30 days, and then they'll just go back to this one for 30 days, which you can do.
Right. One of the things I've used a lot as I've traveled is the UPS stores, because they're pretty much everywhere and they charge. There's usually a $5 fee, but I will go into the UPS store and have especially boxes. So like if I'm ordering something from Amazon and it can come from FedEx or UPS or any parcel service, the UPS store will accept it. But there's another way around that. Most general delivery won't accept UPS or FedEx, but you have a way around that.
Right. If you receive a package in a FedEx or UPS box, what we do is we just put that box in a plain brown box, and we'll just mail it to you that way at a post office. And that way you can still receive a general delivery. There's no charge for the box, and that way it just, you know, there is no UPS store. If you want to save the $5, we can do it that way.
Right. So that's a way that around. I do get a lot of mail through the UPS stores as I travel. I trust them more than I trust general delivery. I've had problems with general delivery, so I trust them a little more. But that's a way around it. And on the other hand, the UPS store will not receive mail from you, USPS mail. So that has to go general delivery.
Correct.
Lots of the little ins and outs and all these things. On the other hand, and one of the things I look for as I'm going to smaller towns, a lot of smaller towns won't have a UPS store, but they'll have a mom and pop store just like this one.
Yes.
Your mom and pop, mom and son.
Yeah.
That will receive your mail, and they'll usually be around a $5 charge, but I will look for those because it's good to support mom and pop stores. And so if someone is coming into Pahrump and they're not with your service, will you accept packages for them?
Yep, exactly the same thing. There's a $5 charge, and you just need to let us know ahead of time.
Right.
So that we don't look at the package and not recognize the name and return it.
Right.
So you just give us a heads up, and we will hold it until you get here.
Right, so that's what I always do is I find a mom and pop. If there is one, I'd rather do business with them. And if there isn't, I'll go with UPS store. I'll call them. I say, next week I'm going to be there. Will you hold this package for me? And you get it and hold it, and I pick it up. Well, Linda and Brian, thank you so much for sharing with the audience all this information. I know it's going to really help a lot of people out. And hopefully, folks, I can assure you, you will get tremendous service here at Mail, Messages, and More. So I highly, highly recommend them. They're right here in Pahrump. I highly recommend Pahrump as a new state of residence for you. I'm really glad I'm a Pahrump resident. Never regretted it at all. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
So folks, if you got anything out of this video, like us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, and we'll talk to you.